Alright, let's tap back in before we get our day started. We're gonna go to this author, this guy right here. His name is C.C.J. Bunsen. I think it's like Christian Charles Hosea Bunsen. This book is like from the 1830s. 1830s, maybe 40s. It's called The Philosophy of Ancient History, page 1. Now this guy's a German, right? This guy. So he wrote a book about philosophy, ancient history. C.C.J. Bunsen. Look him up, right? He got, and you'll find he got books on Egypt and everything, right? So check this out. He says, in Africa, the Ethiopians, the Egyptians, the Libyans, and the Canaanites and Phoenicians were all descendants of Ham. They were a black or dark colored race and the pioneers of our civilization. They were emphatically the monument builders on the plains of Shinar and the valley of the Nile from Meroe to Memphis. In southern Arabia, they erected wonderful edifices. They were responsible for the monuments that dot southern Siberia and America along the valley of the Mississippi down to Mexico and Peru, and their images and monuments stand as voiceless witnesses. So let's go back. He said, and this is 1830, 1840. This is before the Civil War, right? This is before they found King Tut in 1922. He says, from his research in Africa, the Ethiopians, the Egyptians, the Libyans, the Canaanites. Canaanites? Think about that. We thought, what he's saying, what is Middle East, right? And Phoenicians. So we know the Phoenicians over there, but we also know that Phoenix, Arizona is named after the Phoenicians, right? We're all descendants of Ham. They were a black or dark colored race and the pioneers of our civilization. So he's saying all these people were descendants of Ham, and they were black, so-called black people, right? Dark colored race, and were the pioneers of civilization. What is civilization? That's when you're talking about like cities, nations, buildings, schools, reading, writing, health. They started all of this. And then he said they were emphatically the monument builders on the plains of Shinar. I got to find out what Shinar is, but you guys can look that up. In the valley of the Nile from Monroe to Memphis. So he's talking about the Nile Valley River from Monroe to Memphis. Now you see that it's a Memphis over there in Africa, and you got what, Memphis, Tennessee over here. And then he says in southern Arabia they erected wonderful edifices. So you go to southern Arabia, you see all these things in rock, like castles in the mountains, carved in rock. So he said we built that too. He says they were responsible for the monuments that dot the southern Siberia. Southern Siberia, I'm thinking about, we're going to look that up too, but we definitely know that's not in Africa, right? If I'm believing. Don't quote me on that. And then he says they were responsible for the monuments that dotted southern Siberia and in America along the valley of the Mississippi down to Mexico and in Peru. Their images and monuments stand as voiceless witnesses. So he's saying when you go down here in America along the valley of the Mississippi River, so when I say you go down Mississippi, they always talk about these mounds and stuff. He said that was built by black people. He said the mounds go down to Mexico and Peru, and down there you will see the images of so-called black people, and you will see the monuments that our ancestors built as a voiceless witnesses that these were dark black people, and they were the pioneers of our civilization. And so we're not getting this in school because we're taught that our history started with slavery, that the first time we came to America was on a slave ship. But here you have C.C.J. Bunsen in his book Philosophy of Ancient History, a German guy, and like born from like 1791, died 1860, saying in America along the valley of the Mississippi River down to Mexico and in Peru, their voiceless images and monuments stand as voiceless witnesses. He's talking about who voices? These black, dark color races, the pioneer of our civilization. And he's saying in Africa, these people from Africa, these Egyptians, the Libyans, the Canaanites, the Phoenicians, They came to America. These are all black people. And in America, along the valley of the Mississippi, down to Mexico and Peru, their images and monuments stand as voiceless witnesses. So that's what we're not getting in school. Even when people come from Africa, they don't know the Egyptians, Ethiopians, which are all the same people, right? Libyans, Canaanites, Phoenicians, all the same people, right? Because there's no land even called Ham, just like there's no land called Semite, right? So these are all the same people, and they were so-called black people or black African Moorish Hebrew people, right? And were the pioneers of civilization. So they got stuff in Africa, Arabia, and even in America, along the valley of the Mississippi down to Mexico, and in Peru, their images and monuments stands as a voiceless witness. So hold on one second. We're going to give a shout out to the legendary Runoko Rashidi. What he say? One of the main reasons I organized this group tour to Peru is that it gives me the opportunity to explore the ancient civilization that I am not sure of, right? And so these are the monuments, the statues, some of them that he found in Peru, right? You see him? Oh, let me see what else he say. I'm not sure if any African scholar has touched on it is the Mochai civilization of northern Peru. Many of the Moche artifacts, are quite dark, and some with broad features. Okay, so look. So when this guy in the philosophy is saying that, you see it, right? You see the brother from Peru? This is ancient Peru. So as he's here go another one, a classic Mochia portrait vessel from Peru, circa 600 AD. Look like with the Moorish fez on, right? And so here you have C.J. Bunsen saying what? You see it, right? So we just saw with Runoko Rashidi's work, he said what? So they were a dark black color race. The Ethiopians, Egyptians, Libyans, Canaanites, Phoenicians were all black people, right? They were phallically monument builders on the plains of Peru and in America along the valley of Mississippi down to Mexico and in Peru. Their images and monuments stand as voiceless witnesses. Okay then, so hey, I just showed you, right? So I just showed you, look. What did it say? Peru. Their images, right? That's Runoko. Let's shout out to the legend. Peru, right? Let's go down again. Peru. Dark-skinned people, right? We'll show you what. They didn't have to go to Africa to get all of us. Some of us was already here. All right? A lot of us seem to be already here. That way, you know, and what Runoko say down here? He said, one of the main reasons I organized the group tour to Peru is that it gives me the opportunity to explore an ancient civilization I'm not sure any African scholar has touched on. It is the Mochai civilization of northern Peru. So as you can see, the hustle was real. And so like I say, keep on studying. Let's go back to that. Keep on studying, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully, you know, we will come about this darkness. You see it. So they all know, right? It's your boy Pella. Hasta la vista, Shemotep. Assalamu alaikum, my brothers and sisters. Love y'all. Have a great day. Peace.